My wife stood in the kitchen, phone in hand, face white as paper. "Babe," she said, voice shaking, "why is Rachel calling me asking why I'm not coming to Europe?" I looked up from my laptop. "What do you mean?" "She said the group is meeting at JFK tomorrow. She's asking if I'm okay, if something happened." I set my coffee down slowly. "That's strange. Didn't you leave for that trip 3 days ago?" Her mouth opened, closed. I told you I was leaving Thursday." "Today's Thursday," I said calmly. "You left Monday." The color drained from her face completely now. "Where did you tell Rachel you were going?" I asked. She didn't answer. I pulled out my phone, opened my photos, started scrolling. "Because according to the Ring camera, you didn't take your luggage to the airport Monday morning. You took it to the Marriott on Broad Street." I turned the phone around. There she was, crystal clear, 9:47 a.m., pulling her suitcase into a hotel 7 miles from our house. "And according to the front desk, who were very helpful when I called pretending to be you looking for a lost earring, you checked in to room 412. I swiped to the next photo. "With a guest named Marcus Webb." Her knees buckled. She grabbed the counter. "So here's my question," I said, voice steady as steel. "If you've been at the Marriott for 3 days with Marcus, where's the $20,000 I gave you for Europe?" She couldn't speak. I stood up, walked to the kitchen drawer, pulled out a bank statement. "Because I've been tracking it, and you know where it went?" I slid the paper across the counter. "A wire transfer to Marcus's account, Tuesday morning, all $20,000. Her face crumpled. "Michael, I can—" "Save it," I said, "because Rachel's not the only one who called." I pulled out a second phone, a burner I'd bought last week. "Marcus's wife called too. Funny thing, she thought he was in Europe, on business." The room went silent except for the hum of the refrigerator. "So here's what's going to happen," I said quietly. "You're going to sit down and you're going to explain to me what the hell you thought was going to happen when your fake trip and his fake trip ended on different days." She collapsed into a chair, sobbing. And that's when I realized she hadn't just cheated, she'd stolen, and she'd been stupid enough to leave a trail. If you want to know how a man recovers $20,000, ends a marriage, and destroys 2 liars with 1 phone call, hit subscribe, because what I did next made her wish she'd actually gone to Europe. My name is Michael Carson. I'm 39 years old, and I live in Charlotte, North Carolina. I'm a senior systems analyst for a regional bank. Not glamorous, but stable, good benefits, decent pay, predictable hours. I'm the guy who fixes things when they break. Networks, servers, security protocols. I solve problems quietly, methodically, without drama. That skill set turned out to be useful in ways I never expected. My wife, Lauren, is 37. We've been married for 8 years. No kids, her choice, which I respected. She works in marketing for a healthcare company, makes good money, has her own career. On paper, we had it figured out. Nice house in a good neighborhood, 2 cars, annual vacations, the whole middle-class dream. But somewhere along the way, the dream started cracking, and I didn't see it until it was too late. It started 6 months ago with small changes. New gym membership. I need to get back in shape. New clothes. My work wardrobe is so outdated. New phone habits. Face down on the counter, taken into the bathroom. Sudden passwords on apps that never had them. I'm not a paranoid man. I don't snoop. I trust until I have a reason not to. But I'm also not stupid. When your wife starts coming home from work happy hours at midnight smelling like cologne that isn't yours, you notice. When she starts picking fights over nothing, how I load the dishwasher, how I breathe too loud at night, you notice. When she stops saying, I love you, and starts saying, I know, when you say it first, you notice. I noticed. I just didn't act. Not yet. 3 months ago, Lauren came home excited. Babe, the girls are planning a trip to Europe. 2 weeks, Paris, Barcelona, Rome. Rachel's organizing everything. Rachel was her best friend since college. Married, 2 kids, the responsible one in their friend group. That sounds amazing, I said. When? June. We're thinking early June before it gets too hot. How much? She hesitated. It's expensive. Flights, hotels, food, tours, probably $20,000 total. I nearly choked on my beer. $20,000? I know it's a lot, she said quickly, but it's a once-in-a-lifetime thing. All the girls are going. I don't want to be the only one who can't afford it. There it was, the social pressure, the keeping up with the Joneses mentality that had been creeping into our marriage for years. Lauren, that's a huge chunk of our savings. I know, but we can afford it. You make good money. I make good money. We don't have kids. When else are we going to do something like this? She had a point. We'd been saving for what exactly? A bigger house we didn't need? Retirement that was 30 years away? Let me think about it, I said. She kissed me on the cheek. Thank you, babe. This means everything to me. I thought about it for 2 days. Then I checked our savings account. We had $47,000. $20,000 was a lot, but we could recover. And honestly, I wanted her to be happy. I wanted to be the husband who said yes, who supported her dreams, who didn't make everything about money. So I said yes. Her face lit up like Christmas morning. Really? Really? Book it. She threw her arms around me. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I love you so much. It felt good, like I'd done something right. Looking back, that moment was the beginning of the end. Over the next 2 months, I watched her prepare. Shopping trips for travel clothes, new luggage, a fancy camera, guidebooks stacked on the coffee table. She talked about the trip constantly. The Eiffel Tower, the Sagrada Familia, the Colosseum. She showed me the itinerary Rachel had put together. Every day planned, every hotel booked. I'm gonna miss you, one night, she said, curled up beside me on the couch. I'll miss you too, but you're gonna have an amazing time. She kissed me. 2 weeks will fly by.
I believed her. The trip was scheduled to start on a Thursday, June 8th. Lauren was supposed to fly out of Charlotte Douglas at 6 a.m., connecting through JFK to Paris. Wednesday night, she packed. I watched her fold clothes, organize toiletries, double-check her passport. You nervous? I asked. A little. I've never been to Europe. You're going to love it. She smiled. I hope so. That night, we went to bed early. She set her alarm for 3:30 a.m. I'll drive you to the airport, I offered. No, it's too early. I'll just Uber. You sure? Positive. Get your sleep. I kissed her goodnight. Have fun. Send me pictures. I will. I woke up at 3:45 a.m. to the sound of her moving around the bedroom. She was dressed, hair done, makeup on, at 3:45 in the morning. You look nice, I mumbled, half asleep. Thanks, babe. Go back to sleep. I heard her roll her suitcase down the hall. The front door opened, closed. Through the window, I saw headlights. A car pulled away. And I went back to sleep, thinking my wife was on her way to Europe. She texted me from the airport at 5:30 a.m. Security line is crazy. I'll text when I board. At 7 a.m., boarding now, love you. At 10 a.m., landed in JFK, waiting for the Paris flight, miss you already. At 2 p.m., on the plane, turning my phone off, I'll message when I land. Every text felt normal, expected. I went to work, came home, ate leftover pizza, watched TV. My wife was in Europe. Except she wasn't. I didn't suspect anything until Monday night. I was scrolling through my phone, looking at our Ring camera footage. I'd been meaning to delete old clips to free up storage. That's when I saw it. Thursday morning, 4:03 a.m., Lauren pulling her suitcase out the front door. But she didn't get into an Uber. She got into a black Audi, a car I didn't recognize. I rewound, watched again. The Audi pulled up. She loaded her suitcase into the trunk, got in the passenger seat. The interior light came on for just a second. I could see the driver. A man. My stomach dropped. I rewound again, zoomed in as much as the camera would allow. The driver was in his 40s, dark hair, beard. I didn't recognize him. I checked the license plate, ran it through a database I had access to at work, technically against policy, but I wasn't thinking about policy. The car was registered to Marcus Webb, age 43, address in South Charlotte. I Googled him. LinkedIn profile, sales director at a medical device company, married, 2 kids, and according to his Facebook, which wasn't fully private, he was traveling for work this week. I sat at my desk, staring at my screen, feeling my world tilt. Lauren didn't take an Uber to the airport. She got picked up by a married man I'd never heard of, and according to her texts, she was in Europe. But what if she wasn't? I did what any systems analyst would do. I started gathering data. First, I checked our credit card statements, the one we shared, the one she used for everything. No charges in Europe, no foreign transaction fees, nothing.
But there was a charge. Thursday morning, 9:47 a.m. Marriott, Charlotte City Center, $347. A hotel, 7 miles from our house. My hands were shaking. I called the hotel, put on my best concerned husband voice. "Hi, my wife checked in last week, and she thinks she left an earring in the room. Is there any way to check?" The front desk clerk was helpful. Too helpful. "Sure, what's the name?" "Lauren Carson." Typing sounds. "Yes, Mrs. Carson checked in Thursday, June 8th, room 412. She's still with us, actually. Would you like me to transfer you?" My throat went dry. No, that's okay. I'll call her directly. Thank you." I hung up. Lauren wasn't in Europe. She was 7 miles away, in a hotel, for 4 days. I didn't confront her. Not yet. Instead, I did what I do best. I investigated. I drove to the Marriott, parked across the street, waited. At 11 a.m., I saw them, Lauren and Marcus, walking out of the lobby together, laughing, his hand on her lower back. They got into his Audi, drove to a restaurant nearby. I followed at a distance, watched them through the window, watched him reach across the table and hold her hand, watched her smile at him the way she used to smile at me. I took pictures, lots of pictures. Then I went home and started digging deeper. I checked our bank account, the savings account where the $20,000 had come from. The money was gone, I knew that. I'd transferred it to her checking account 2 weeks ago so she could pay Rachel for the trip. But I checked her account activity. We had joint access, something we'd set up years ago and never changed. There was a wire transfer, sent Tuesday, June 13th, $20,000, to an account belonging to Marcus Webb. I sat there staring at the screen, feeling something I'd never felt before. Not heartbreak, not anger, cold, calculated rage. She hadn't just cheated, she'd stolen from me. She'd taken $20,000, money I'd worked for, saved, trusted her with, and given it to her lover. I called my lawyer, a guy I'd worked with on a real estate deal years ago. "Tom, I need help. My wife is cheating and she stole $20,000 from our savings." He didn't ask questions. "Come in tomorrow, bring everything you have." I brought everything. Photos, bank statements, ring camera footage, hotel records. Tom looked at it all and whistled. "This is thorough. I'm a systems analyst. I'm good at finding patterns." "Well, you've got a hell of a case. Adultery, theft, fraud. She's screwed." "What do I do?" "First, we file for divorce. Second, we file a police report for the wire transfer. Third, we make sure she doesn't see any of this coming until it's too late." I nodded. "Let's do it." The plan was simple. Let her think she was getting away with it. Let her come home from her trip. Let her lie to me to my face. And then drop the hammer.
Thursday, June 15th, 1 week after she left. I got a text from Lauren. Landing in Charlotte in 3 hours. Can't wait to see you. I texted back. Can't wait. I'll pick you up. No need. I'll Uber. See you soon.
Of course she'd Uber, because Marcus was probably dropping her off. She walked through the door at 6 p.m., rolling her suitcase, looking tanned and refreshed. "Babe," she dropped her bag and hugged me. "I missed you so much." I hugged her back. "How was it?" "Amazing, absolutely amazing. Paris was incredible. And Barcelona, oh my God, the food." She pulled out her phone. "Look, I took so many pictures." She showed me photos. The Eiffel Tower, the Sagrada Familia, the Colosseum. Stock photos, downloaded from Google. I know because I reverse image searched them later. "Wow," I said. "Looks like you had a great time." "I did, but I'm so glad to be home." She kissed me. "I'm exhausted. I'm going to shower and crash." "Sure, I'll order dinner." She disappeared upstairs, and I sat on the couch, waiting. The next morning, Friday, I was in the kitchen making coffee when her phone rang. She was still in the shower. The name on the screen? Rachel. I didn't answer, but I listened when it went to voicemail. "Hey, Lauren, it's me. I'm so confused. Why aren't you coming? Everyone's asking about you. We're meeting at JFK in 2 hours. Are you okay? Call me back." I saved the voicemail. Then I waited. Lauren came downstairs 20 minutes later, hair wet, looking relaxed. Her phone was on the counter. It buzzed. A text from Rachel. "Where are you? Are you coming?" Lauren picked up her phone, read the text. Her face went white. "Babe," she said, voice shaking, "why is Rachel calling me asking why I'm not coming to Europe?" I looked up from my laptop. "What do you mean?" "She said the group is meeting at JFK tomorrow. She's asking if I'm okay, if something happened." I set my coffee down slowly. "That's strange. Didn't you leave for that trip 3 days ago?" Her mouth opened, closed. I told you I was leaving Thursday." "Today's Thursday," I said calmly. "You left last Thursday, a week ago." The color drained from her face completely now. "Where did you tell Rachel you were going?" I asked. She didn't answer. I pulled out my phone, opened my photos, started scrolling. "Because according to the Ring camera, you didn't take your luggage to the airport last Thursday morning. You took it to the Marriott on Broad Street." I turned the phone around. There she was, crystal clear, 9:47 a.m., pulling her suitcase into a hotel 7 miles from our house. And according to the front desk, who were very helpful when I called pretending to be you looking for a lost earring, you checked into room 412. I swiped to the next photo, with a guest named Marcus Webb. Her knees buckled. She grabbed the counter. "Michael, I can explain." "Don't," I said, voice cold. "Don't insult me by trying to explain." I stood up, walked to the kitchen drawer, pulled out a bank statement. "Here's what I want to know. If you've been at the Marriott for a week with Marcus, where's the $20,000 I gave you for Europe?" She couldn't speak. I slid the paper across the counter. "Because I've been tracking it, and you know where it went?" I pointed to a line on the statement. "A wire transfer to Marcus's account, Tuesday morning, all $20,000. Her face crumpled. "Michael, You what? You stole from me? You gave our savings to your boyfriend?" Tears started streaming down her face. "It's not like that." "Then what is it like, Lauren? Explain it to me." She collapsed into a chair, sobbing. I didn't yell. I didn't break things. I just stood there, watching her cry, feeling nothing. "Here's what's going to happen," I said quietly. "You're going to pack a bag. You're going to leave, and you're going to find somewhere else to stay." "Michael, please." "I've already filed for divorce. You'll be served on Monday." Her head snapped up. "You what?" "I filed Wednesday. Adultery, fraud, theft. You can't. I can, and I did. I pulled out another paper. This is a police report for the wire transfer. That's felony theft, Lauren. You took marital funds and gave them to another man without my consent. Her face went from red to white. You're going to have me arrested? That depends on you. I sat down across from her. Here's the deal. You sign the divorce papers, you agree to return the $20,000, and I don't press charges. I don't have $20,000. Then get it from Marcus, I said coldly. I don't care how, but you have 30 days. She was sobbing now, full body shaking. Michael, please, I made a mistake. I'm sorry. We can fix this. There's nothing to fix, I said. You didn't make a mistake. You made a choice. 100 choices. Every text, every lie, every night you spent with him. I stood up. You have 1 hour to pack, then I want you out. She tried everything. Begging, crying, anger, bargaining. None of it worked. At 10 a.m., she dragged her suitcase out the front door. The same suitcase she dragged out a week earlier. This time, I watched her leave, and I felt nothing. That afternoon, I made a phone call to Marcus Webb's wife. Mrs. Webb, you don't know me. My name is Michael Carson. I'm calling because I think there's something you should know about your husband. She was quiet for a long moment. Then, is this about Lauren? My stomach dropped. You know? I suspected. He's been acting strange, secretive. He told me he was traveling for work this week. He wasn't, I said. He was at the Marriott on Broad Street with my wife. Silence. I have proof, I added. Photos, hotel records. If you want them, I'll send them. Send them, she said, voice hard. I did. By Monday, both marriages were over. Lauren moved in with a friend. Marcus moved into an extended stay hotel. Both of them were served with divorce papers. Both of them were facing angry spouses with evidence they couldn't deny. And both of them had lost everything. The $20,000 was harder to recover. Lauren didn't have it. Marcus had spent most of it, on the hotel, on dinners, on gifts for her. But my lawyer was relentless. We filed a civil suit. We froze Marcus's accounts. We made his life hell. 3 months later, I got a check for $20,000. Not from Marcus, from his wife.
She'd liquidated part of their savings to pay me back. I'm sorry for what they did, she wrote in a note. You didn't deserve this. Neither did she. 6 months later, the divorce was final. Lauren got nothing. No alimony, no settlement, nothing. The judge wasn't sympathetic to a woman who'd committed adultery and theft. I kept the house, kept the savings, kept my dignity. Lauren moved to another city. Last I heard, she and Marcus broke up 2 months after the divorces were finalized. Turns out relationships built on lies don't last. I still live in Charlotte, still work at the bank, still fix things when they break. But now I fix them for me. I took that $20,000 and did something I should have done years ago. I went to Europe, alone. Paris, Barcelona, Rome. I saw the Eiffel Tower, the Sagrada Familia, the Colosseum, and I took pictures, real ones. I sent one to Lauren, just one. Me standing in front of the Eiffel Tower, smiling. Caption, thanks for the trip. She never responded. People ask me if I'm angry. I'm not. Anger is what you feel when you're surprised. I wasn't surprised. I was prepared. Because here's the thing about being a systems analyst. You learn to see patterns. You learn to track data. You learn to find problems before they become disasters. Lauren thought she was smarter than me. She thought I wouldn't notice, wouldn't check, wouldn't care. She was wrong on all 3 counts. I'm dating now, slowly, carefully. I met someone a few months ago. Her name's Sarah. She's a teacher. She's kind, honest, and she thinks my job is boring. I love that about her. She doesn't care about money or status or keeping up with anyone. She just wants someone who shows up and tells the truth. I can do that. If you've ever been lied to, if you've ever been stolen from, if you've ever had someone look you in the eye and swear they love you while they're planning their escape, this one's for you. You're not crazy for checking. You're not paranoid for asking questions. Trust your gut. Verify the data. And when the numbers don't add up, don't ignore it, because the truth always leaves a trail. You just have to be willing to follow it. Hit subscribe if you want more stories about the quiet power of preparation. Comment, "I checked the data," if this one hit home. Because the best revenge isn't getting even, it's being the one who saw it coming.